What is up, everybody? This is Alex from IHE TV. I love that gorilla song called Aries. So before I start talking about this movie, I'm ill again. I've pretty much been ill for 3 weeks now. It's driving me crazy. Sorry about how it impacts my voice. Oh my god. But maybe that frustration can be all directed at Jared Leto, who here is very reminiscent of, if you've seen Eddington, Austin Butler's character, who plays a cult leader. It's very much Jared's vibe. So Tron is a bizarre franchise, 3 entries, all kind of considered financial disappointments, but they keep revisiting it to try and make it a big franchise, I guess. I guess they keep trying it with different generations to see if it's the new generation's turn to try Tron. And I don't actually think this is the worst Tron movie. I still think that goes to the original. But what this movie did do was give me a newfound respect for Tron Legacy, actually. Another film that's not great, but has a lot more going for it than the other 2 movies. I was going to see this either way, mostly because of Nine Inch Nails doing the score. I'm a huge Nen guy. I saw them live this summer. They were incredible. The meme with this movie is that it's nice of Disney to attach a $200 million movie to this soundtrack. And I'd honestly be down to rewatch this movie with a score-only cut, kind of like if you've seen those Star Wars edits where it's the movie with the score only and no dialogue. Eat an edible, watch Tron Ares, marvel at the neon red versus blue colors. Because the production largely isn't the issue with this movie, it's actually writing and story. Even beyond Jared Leto, who, let's be honest, it's super distracting that he is the face of the film. The dude really is a shitty leading man. Like, his best roles, his Oscar-winning role was a supporting character, and that's kind of where he belonged in my mind. But then this run of him being the worst Joker ever, the best Morbius ever, and now the worst Tron protagonist, with the gut punch of him being paid a whopping $15 million for this, his highest earnings in his career, I believe, for a single role. Just like, why? He must have an extremely good agent, because why? Everyone hates this guy. And here's a good picture to highlight one of the annoying things that they did with this movie. This film is littered with great actors who roll a die, and any one of them would be a better choice for a main character than Jared Leto. Oh my god, my voice. They dangle Cameron Monaghan for a single scene in front of you to be like, look, this could have been the protagonist, a likable, charismatic, not cult leader, potential protagonist actor. It's like, why'd you do that? That's so annoying. And Evan Peters here, who's someone else I quite like, even though he's been cast in a bunch of bad stuff lately. If you swap these 2 around, have Jared Leto be the creepy, evil tech CEO guy, and have Evan Peters be the AI that wants to escape the grid, again, that would be a better choice. Fuck it, make Gillian Anderson the main character, she's awesome. But being totally real, even if you swapped out Jared Leto for someone who isn't a creepy vampire, it's not like the film would be miraculously fixed. I'm just going to start talking spoilers now. This isn't really a film you can spoil, but I'm warning you either way, in case you're holding off for whatever reason. But trust me, there's basically nothing to spoil here. So the big change, the big hook of the movie is that Evan Peters is, I guess, the grandson of the villain from the first movie, has his tech company, and they figured out a way to 3D print with lasers elements from the grid, the digital world, into the real world, framing it as like, wouldn't this be great for the military? But the only thing that's holding it back is that it can only exist in our world for about 30 minutes before they turn into dust, and they have to be re-3D printed. An idea I don't really mind on its face. I like the urgency it gives to have this like rule of these constant countdowns to keep the urgency up, but the rules in this film are all over the place. They really don't care. It's kind of doing that J.J. Abrams approach of just like, yeah, this is happening, we've got to just keep moving, like, just don't even focus on what I'm saying, like, it's just, everyone's being chased all the time, and it's like, well, don't even think about the rules, like, we just got to keep moving. Don't know where I got that burst of energy from, but when the timer does run out, the digital elements start turning into Morbius before they turn into dust. So every time Jared Leto's about to de-res in real life, he starts looking like Morbius, and I couldn't help but just think about that face he pulls every time he hisses. At its core, this film has nothing to say, like nothing. It's vaguely pro-AI, with Greta Lee being framed as, hey, I'm the humble game developer who had an older sister who found the permanence code, and the permanence code will allow the digital tech to be, as the name implies, permanent. So Jared Leto or Tron bikes or whatever you want to bring in from the grid can be permanent, but the dichotomy is supposed to be evil Evan Peters wants to use it for the military, and goody Greta Lee wants to use it for philanthropy. They want to heal the world with 3D printing apples. But like, the commentary is not why anyone is enjoying this movie. It's kind of like a key jangling light show, which I'm fine with in small doses. I thought the bike chase was one of the better action scenes in the movie. What the fuck? Is that Mr. Beast? Oh my god. I'm trying, man. What the fuck is this? I can't take it anymore. Specific promotional... What the fuck? Oh, the music is fire, though. The music just carries it so hard. Where's Mr. Beast?
Let's do this!
Oh, it's there. What the fuck?
Let's do this!
Fuck you. Fuck you, Disney. Well, that's thumbnail material at least. Oh, that's grotesque. God, that really threw me off. I was kind of into this for like the first 15-20 minutes. It was kind of a vibe, but obviously the Nin music is the best thing about the movie. Like, I'd recommend just listening to that on its own. There are elements of it that are kind of underutilized, because I had listened to it before actually seeing the movie, and some of the tracks are just straight up better on the soundtrack version than the way it's integrated into the film itself. Which is one of the things I do appreciate about Tron Legacy, which actually does have a better score. I think what Daft Punk did with that film stands out a lot more, is a lot more out of character for them too. Because like, don't get me wrong, I love the Nin stuff in here, but it's very, you know, in your face. Yeah, this is 9 Inch Nails, you know. But the score that Daft Punk put together for Tron Legacy, it's really subtle and elegant. Obviously, you got your big, obvious, de-resed, heavier stuff for action and whatnot, but songs like Solar Sailor or Son of Flynn, or even the quiet way that the grid track introduces the film. It's like, oh, this is different. This is not what I expected from them. It's not just a wall of noise, and has a huge emotional range to it. This is like an incredible album. And shout out to the remix album as well. Yeah, this has some great stuff on it. And it's the main reason we got Random Access Memories from them, because it gave them the skills to work with a full orchestra, and just feels like it was going in a different space, doing something different for them as artists. And the score for this movie is so disproportionately good compared to the actual film itself. Whereas Tron Ares, yeah, the music is good, but it's not even Nin's best, or should I say Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross's best film score. They have much better scores than this film. I can't stop thinking about that fucking Mr. Beast bullshit. The fuck were they thinking? That's their attempt to get like kids to watch it. Oh my god, why? Sorry, yeah, this is just too distracting. Weirdly enough, Jared Leto isn't actually the worst performance in the film. Greta Lee, who was fantastic in past lives, is sleepwalking through this. It's like she doesn't know what type of movie she's in. And kind of what I was saying earlier about if you swapped out Jared Leto with anyone, with Evan Peters, with Monahan. The dialogue is so atrocious. Daniel Day-Lewis couldn't sell this shit. You might be wondering who this guy is. This is the director. Very much a director for hire Disney shill type dude. That kind of looks interesting. I haven't seen that, but you know, Maleficent, Pirates of the Caribbean, Salazar's Revenge. This is the tier of director we're talking about. And Tron is such an awkward franchise because it demands such big budgets because of these huge visual effects heavy set pieces in the grid. But it's also such a weird concept that doesn't really have the broad appeal that like a Jurassic Park or something like that, where people are just going to go see it no matter what. It doesn't have the big monster CG thing that gets butts in seats. So what did they wind up spending on this shit? $180 million budget, bombing hard. They're going to lose a lot of money on this film, I think. Despite the fact that a lot of people that are seeing it are enjoying it. I think it's probably going to find a cult audience once it hits Disney Plus in a few months, or in a week at this rate. I said that I mentioned the bike action scene, which they kind of spoiled in the trailers, but shortly after that scene, which the setup is, yo, Jared Leto and Sidekick go and steal the permanence code from Greta Lee in a motorbike chase. And then like 10 minutes later, after Jared Leto rebels, because he decides he wants to be a real boy, Evan Peters sends these jetpack warriors into the real world. It's like, wait, surely he should have led with those instead of the motorbikes. They're a lot more like practical as far as just getting from A to B. And as far as like mechanics, stuff like that, as far as world building and rules, it is just all over the place with that kind of thing. Like you could nitpick this film to death. It's so stupid. And it's not even nitpicking at a certain point. It's just like, I don't remember Tron Legacy having that issue. And then by the time you get to this thing, coming into the city, where they show the warehouse, where it's getting 3D printed, a fairly small warehouse compared to the size of this thing. And Evan Peters is like, that's too big. So the script addresses that it's too big for it to be built, but they never show how it actually gets out of the warehouse. Like, it just cuts to it flying around the city, and it's like, why do you even bring attention to it then? And the film is just full of dumb shit like that. Like the time you get to Jeff Bridges, and he's all like, I'm here for some reason, dude. I don't even know why. Don't even think about it, dude. Just hand waves it in the dialogue. He says something like, I'm here because you want me to be here, dude. In a little fan servicey 80s moment, which is when it started clicking for me. It's like, oh, they're trying to Marvel this shit. The reverence it has for the franchise, which should be there in some degree, you know, if you're making the third entry in some kind of franchise like this is one thing, but it's a very particular like Disney camera movement reverence thing that they love doing. They do it in Star Wars, they do it in Marvel, where the camera is framed and used in a way to highlight a reference for the audience for that Leo DiCaprio meme, the point and soy face. I know that thing. Clap time, clap audience, clap. Which was then extra cemented for me when in the end credits it has a Marvel tease for the next movie that's not going to happen, with Evan Peters becoming some villain from a previous movie or something. I don't know. It doesn't matter. So yeah, for like the first act of the movie, I was kind of like, this is dumb, but I'm kind of enjoying this actually. In just like a light show kind of way, and in a similar way to, you know, those EDM artists that go to the Vegas Sphere and have big robots just going like ba 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 ba. It feels like one of those kind of. Yeah, it's kind of got the vibe of one of these, you know? If you've seen one of these before. I can't play the audio because it'll get copyright claim, but you get what I'm saying. I guess a more elegant way to put it is that it's Scorsese nailed it, man. It's a theme park movie. It just feels like a Disney theme park ride as a movie with all the pros and cons that come with that. It's a big spectacle, there are moments of fun, but it's not like it has a story or meaning beyond the most surface level, key jangly engagement. With the Marvel stuff, this dude felt like straight out of a Marvel movie, the way they were trying to put some humor in there, which was like, no, take this as seriously as possible, because then the cringy stuff's even funnier, and then when it genuinely manages to be cool, it's like, okay, this is like sincerely cool. Instead of like, hey, like, wink, wink, nudge, nudge, hey, whoa, that was awesome type shit. Just a miss of a character. And again, it's another thing I kind of now appreciate more in hindsight, just how serious Tron Legacy takes itself. There's that bizarre Michael Sheen moment, but that's more just like, what the fuck? Than actually like, yawn, Marvel, blah. This is before they'd really honed down that formula. They tried to give Jared Leto some characterization by having him constantly talk about, oh, you know, what gives life meaning is actually how impermanent it is, and how Depeche Mode is better than Mozart because, I don't know, just a feeling. And also, now I can finally start my vampire cult. I feel like you could brutally chop like 20 minutes out of this movie. It feels too long for how shallow and how plain and static the characters feel. But I just don't get when they're so risk-averse and they're so like frightened to do anything interesting. When they don't realize that if they had some kind of interesting director or writer attached to this, then you might actually be able to get the good word of mouth that would make something like this a success. Because choosing an uninteresting director like this, and then these writers write. So if we look at the screenplay by this dude, Jesse, who has penned Ugly Naked People, Sweet Friggin' Daisies, It Runs in the Family, Age Appropriate, The Prince, 2 episodes of Daredevil Born Again, and then Tron. I'm still too scared to watch Daredevil Born Again because I just don't trust Disney. I don't know, but I love Daredevil. This is what I'm saying, like, why are you picking these people? Because you can just control everything they do and say, because they have zero voice, and that it could be anyone, any plug-in. Like, who's the other person? David DeGilio. Again, it's like, why are you doing this? You can give $15 million to Jared Leto to not even get butts in seats. You can't spend a little extra to get like a script that is interesting or has some texture to it or some direction. It's like the die is cast from the second they've chosen this crew. They just sandbag themselves from second one. Because at least with Tron Legacy, like Joseph Kosinski has gone on to be this like blockbuster master. And you can see elements of what makes his films cool in this one. Because the build-up and crescendo of this film is a lot more satisfying than Ares, which kind of peaks early on for me, where it has all the various games, you know, it's got the bike chase, the disc fight stuff, and a really cool flying sequence towards the end, where this one has the bike stuff. Then when they get into the grid, there's another pretty cool chase scene with these drones and an underwatery bike thing. That was my favorite action in the movie, but by the time it actually gets to what was advertised as the hook, I wasn't really into that action at all. When it becomes like fisticuffs, Jared Leto punching, it felt like the concept was so much stronger than the actual execution. Because one of my issues with the previous Tron movies is like I don't really care that much about the actual grid. Like once you're in there, the stakes don't feel that high, whereas the stakes feel enormous when the digital stuff is coming into the real world. It's like, that's my world, leave me alone. But they kind of completely wasted it. And the absolute goal to tease at the end that Jared Leto is looking at pictures of these two from Tron Legacy, like, yeah, I'm gonna find them and we're gonna make a sequel to this, by the way. Needlessly confident. Just a classic Disney bomb. So I think I'll leave it there. Bunch of wasted potential. There's just something weirdly likable about Tron, even though it kind of sucks. I don't know what it is. I still prefer this over the original. I find it just so boring and unwatchable and terrible to look at. Where this at least has that key jangly light show nature to it. But like Tron Legacy is the winner, and it's a winner that still kind of sucks. Just what a weird franchise. So I wound up giving this a 2-star out of 5 on Letterboxd. Kind of started at a 3-star and was just going down and down as it was going, as it was cringing me out, as it was boring me. Probably give the score like a 7 though. Go listen to the score, wait for the nin cut that I guess is gonna awkwardly have a Depeche Mode song just like slap bang in the middle of it. So let me know if you like the film more than me or less. What are your feelings on Tron? See you on the next vid. Bye!